Sick.
Alright. 10.
Woo!
Hi! Welcome to Lobster Butter!
Welcome to Lobster Butter.
This is officially our first episode. We tried to make one last week and it didn't work. So, trial number 2. We'll see if this one actually sees the internet. Hopefully it does.
Hopefully.
'Cause we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I hope you're ready to listen.
Sure.
So, the biggest news that we have happening in ACRN media is Lobsterfest is coming up right around the corner.
Absolutely.
And it's pretty exciting. We have a lot of super cool peeps coming into town to play, and the best part is that it's all free.
Super free.
How many bands are playing?
I think as of right now, we're up to at least like 15 bands, and there's more to be announced. But it's all free, and there are a lot of cool locations. This year we're having shows in places we've never had them before, so that'll be awesome. Especially, I'm very excited to see a show at Arts West because that space is really awesome, and I feel like most of us don't really, at least students, don't get the opportunity to see stuff there. So
Yeah, I've never been there.
Sure.
it's very cool.
It has like that nice open feel,
Yep.
which like as a venue is really cool.
Speaking of nice and open, Independent Fest is happening this weekend.
Woo, woo.
This is the first time that Indie Fest has ever taken place in southeastern Ohio. It's actually super cool. I don't know if you guys have read the press release. ACRN.com has a press release on its website talking about some of the local artists that'll be playing there. Shameless plug. But no, Indie Fest is actually really cool because it was put together by this group of alumni called SWIM Team, like SWIM. It's like Strong Will, Independent Mind, I think is what it stands for. But
TEAM.
Huh?
I spelled out the word team.
So they got a bunch of really cool people to come and play, a lot of really big artists from around this area of the U.S. Juicy J is headlining.
Academy Award winning.
Yeah,
Juicy J.
that's the most
Okay.
important part.
ACRN is sponsoring local artist Sweet Lil as well, so it should be cool.
Who are currently recording?
Yeah, Sweet Lil has an EP coming out around Easter.
Gosh
I think
bless,
so.
thank goodness.
Yeah, I actually just talked to Harold, who is the drummer in Sweet Lil. I was talking to him today about a interview, or not so much an interview, but an artist profile that ACRN is going to do on them. So that should be super interesting. They're both really nice people, Harold and Hannah. I feel like the Rat is also part of the band.
Yeah, I feel
It's
like
crazy.
I am really bad about remembering what the name of that little rat is.
I have no
but
idea what the Rat
he's a
is.
darling.
Absolutely.
They have a pet rat?
Hannah does.
Oh.
Oh. That's the cover of Schizo, is her rat.
But speaking of Indie Fest, someone who is playing is Atari Jones. He is a rapper from Cleveland, and ACRN actually just talked to him 2 days ago. I just talked to him. We just had a brief Q&A. He's a really nice guy. He reached out to us. So that's going to be on the site. You should go take a look and get to know him before you go see him at Independent Fest on Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really cool content on the site right now. We put out a poop load of reviews.
Poop load.
An actual
Entire
poop
poop
load. But I'm always interested a lot of the times when I'm reading reviews because I'm not super up to date. I have my niche world of music I pay
Yeah,
attention.
same
This week
with
was
me.
all over,
We
which is
had-
awesome.
Yeah, we have heavy metal from Enslaved that Eric Perzanowski wrote a really great review. And Jordan Matthias reviewed Liturgy, which I guess is also dark metal.
Black metal.
Very
Black metal.
experimental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People in black metal hate liturgy,
Yeah.
Yes.
apparently. I learned from Jordan's review.
It was phenomenal reading Jordan's review.
Yeah, his
Yes.
lead was maybe my favorite lead ever. It was liturgy is not well liked. You definitely want to read more after that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, I mean, his descriptions of things just were
Very-
fascinating.
Yeah.
And speaking of metal, and also the fact that Eric Perzanowski just wrote that review, if you do not listen to Eric's show, you are missing out. Every Sunday he does a show called Hooked on Metal. His DJ name is Tenacious E, first of all, so you
great.
can't beat that. But literally, I learned more about metal from just being around Eric Perzanowski than I ever have in my whole life.
Yeah.
I feel like one day he could be the new
Expert
the new
witness.
expert.
Yeah.
Because there's that guy who did did like the evolution of metal, and I feel like Eric Przanowski's about to like blow that guy out.
You don't even know about the evolution. All right, like multiple novels detailing the history.
Well, the best thing
Go
about his
teach at
reviews
university.
is that there's a ton of history of the genre in them,
Absolutely.
which
Right.
is phenomenal coming from a place of knowing very, very little about metal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like most of the time when you hear people talking about metal, like obviously like any genre, but especially I feel like with metal is it's very much its own scene and has like a lot of its own jargon.
Oh yeah.
So like I think Eric does a good job of
To hear about
enlightening
it
people.
from someone who understands it, I'm
Absolutely.
like, okay, I also feel like I understand
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I probably don't.
Right.
Um,
Like Jordan did that too, even like with the
Yeah.
artwork. Like I don't know black metal, I can't say it, but the only other band that I do know enough about is Death Haven, who he
Right,
also
yeah.
put in.
Right,
so
right.
he made that.
Right.
So then my brain was like, okay, I kind of know. I'm
Right.
almost knowledgeable.
Our good pal Hadiza reviewed an Elliott Smith like tribute album that was done by Seth Avett and Jessica Leah Mayfield. She was a really big fan of it. And-
Yeah. She gave it almost a perfect score.
which is pretty high.
Yeah.
You could tell she definitely liked it, and from her perspective on Elliott Smith, it fit. But
Yeah, she was totally right about Elliott Smith. Elliott Smith was a genius. But she wasn't right about Jessica Lee Mayfield and Seth Avett. I always looked at Elliott Smith as emo folk. But I think Jessica and Seth totally took the emo out of it. I didn't really feel a lot of the pain that was in Elliott Smith's lyrics on this record.
Mark
It
wants
seemed-
more pain.
I want more pain. It seemed very, very sterile.
Well, in my experience with the Avett Brothers, like with the album that they released last year, is that I feel like their intensity is most felt when they're playing like very loud, like jams.
Yeah.
And that's no like discredit to them. Like they are very emotive in like that fashion, but like seeing, I don't recall the album today, but seeing that album last year, and like they tried to slow it down, and I think it lost a lot of that energy.
Yeah.
So I feel like it would be hard for Seth Avett and Jessica Lee Mayfield to sort of execute like the same sort of like raw emotion that Elliott Smith had. Elliott Smith is a 90s artist. Another review we did this week was Chastity Belt, who sounds like a 90s artist.
Yeah, like Miss Megan, our copy chief and general manager, she reviewed that album. She was a big fan for great reasons, because that album is pretty good. It's pretty great, actually.
It's a fantastic record,
Yeah.
like front to back, and it's just so much fun. Like they take on some really serious topics in a way that is so like nonchalant
Right.
that it feels very normal, and I think that's really cool. And like they have so much fun even with very serious topics. Like the song "Cool Slut" is just about how like it's
So
totally
good.
rad to be like a sexually active girl and it's okay. And like they just released this like fun, carefree, like super tongue-in-cheek VHS film video for it of them in like goofy 90s clothes, just like being ridiculous and cheesy. And I
Yeah.
think that that's just like
That's
a
what
testament to them.
That's what I would aspire to be as a musician,
Oh, for sure.
honestly. Just like saying smart things, but doing it casually.
Exactly.
Another album that just came out, or came out like 2 weeks ago, with like a lot of really casual but like really biting commentary is Policy by Will Butler. I think, I mean, I don't know if everyone like thought this, but I always assumed that Will was just like the happy like synth player who like wore crazy outfits at Arcade Fire shows and just danced around and like was probably tripping on drugs. But his album is seriously like, damn, that is a whole like person that like has so much stuff going on inside his own brain that's like distinctly his own, and he's really smart too.
Mhm.
Like
Yes.
after listening to his just like remarks about society and stuff, I just want to like hang out and talk. Be like, dude, how are you? Not great. Me neither. Let's talk about it.
I feel like, and you mentioned this like before in a previous conversation, but from listening to it, and I think you feel this way too, separates him like from Arcade Fire. He
Oh,
could
absolutely.
definitely be independent of Arcade Fire and
Yeah.
like make it with this music.
He has like so much press happening. I've tweeted at him like 7 times and he has not answered. So
Come on,
Will Butler,
Will.
I'm probably gonna tweet at you again. Just like favorite it. That's all I need. It's cool. And if you favorite it, I'll probably be like shoot you an email like, hey, you wanna have an interview? I'll take that as like the green light to keep going. Bailey was a giant fan of Invention's new album, Maze of Woods. I haven't listened to it, but the way she describes it, I'm like, man, I should probably listen
Yeah,
to that.
her review really piqued my interest, and I think they might have retweeted it, which is always
They did!
exciting. If you are an artist
They did
and you're
retweet
paying
it.
attention and we review your album, retweet it. Except for
Please.
that one random dude in that band who did not
Party
like the
supply.
review we wrote. You don't need to say mean things about us. It's funny when you do, but you don't have to if you don't want to.
I think they want to. I think it's kind of funny. If
It
you
is
want to say
pretty
I mean, it
funny.
gave me a
like,
chuckle.
Can I name names?
I mean, yeah, why
it was
not?
Party Supply.
No.
Was it?
No, that
That
was
was someone
forever
else
ago.
who tweeted angrily.
Yes.
Another
Yeah, Party
angry.
Supply was the last
artist.
angry tweeter.
It was.
I think
mad
it was
that-
the band Pyramids, but like Sam compared them to
Alice in
Alice in
Chains.
Chains, and they were like, "You lost credibility at
Right.
Alice in Chains," smiley face, and I was like, "What the hell? Alice in Chains is a great band. Like, why are you mad you're being compared to
The
them?"
greatest debatable.
You know who else got retweeted? Britney got retweeted.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, by like the band. The band.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I did.
Yeah,
Proud
I
of
was on
you.
Hootsuite and I was like, all right, gonna look up their Twitter handle and I'm gonna tweet this at them and hopefully they'll do something with it. And they did something. So
They
thanks, football, etc.
Yeah,
Football,
thanks,
etc.?
football.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm really stoked. It really makes, it's like so lame, but I get so excited when this kind of thing happens.
Did they
It's
find it
really
themselves or
cool.
did you send it to them?
Oh, I tweeted.
Just out of
at
curiosity.
them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We'll add time.
yeah.
Your review of that was very good.
You always are really good.
Yeah, I don't know. I always love like your take on like the emo revival because you're so vehement. that, like,
I really
and, like, yeah.
hate it. I just
No,
hate
absolutely.
it so much because it's like and it's not just in my head. I exist in a lot of things in my
Right.
head, but the emo world is not one that's just been in my head for
yeah.
like
And
I don't know the past whole time I've been alive. So
There's like one line, like towards the very end, like the beginning of like one of your closing paragraphs where you're like, you know, I'm not on board with the whole emo revival train because emo never died.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think that's totally fair too, because like pretty much no taste like dies out. Like
Yeah,
I
music,
don't-
dude, music is infinite.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
You cannot
and,
call a genre
What
dead.
did Evan Weiss say? He was like, emo never stopped. You just stop caring about emo.
Exactly.
It's so funny to me to see like the currents of like counter sort of music that like people still follow like trends even though
Right.
they're like we're so like not trendy. You are.
You
You're
are,
just,
though.
You're just following a different trend.
Exactly.
Yeah,
known
so it's super
trend.
refreshing to hear you be like, it hasn't gone anywhere. It's just like doing more things now, I guess.
Yeah, because it's true. It's like
Yeah.
insulting. But when I was at an Owen show like 2 summers ago, like was emo dead? I don't really think so.
Yeah,
and I don't
totally.
think anyone else would have thought so at that show either.
A feature that was just added to ACRN.com was written by our features editor, Marley Scott, and it is all about the Carnivalesque 2015 music festival that is happening this weekend in Athens for 4 nights?
3 nights.
3
4
nights.
shows.
Okay, 3 nights only. It is super cool. It's one of the coolest things that's happened all year, I would say.
Oh,
For sure.
it's incredible. The lineup is a lot of fun.
You can pay at the
Yes.
doors. It might be...
There's different admissions.
If you
Yeah.
look at the flyer, it'll tell you like how much you need to pay per night. But
Yeah.
some of the acts, like that Thursday night show, is like almost all Broken World Media bands, which is
The World
Derek
Is,
from The World Is.
Mhm.
That's their label, and so it's gonna be really cool. Roswell Kid is so dope.
Incredible.
So
I'm like
tight.
furious that I'm missing the
Oh,
Thursday
that's
and
a
Friday
bummer.
shows. But I think I'll be back in town in time to catch the last 2. So
I'm very excited for City Cop.
Dude, I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
City
Cop
Cop.
is so good.
I
Please
saw-
Snapchat that to me.
I saw City Cop last year, and it was like I was pretty fresh at OU, and like standing in the corner watching them perform, I like started to cry because I was so overwhelmed by what they were doing. It was just like so pure and so raw, and they're coming back to Athens.
To the Smiling Skull.
Yeah,
Which is
It'll
a
be
great place
Cool
to
venue
hang
to
out.
see
that
them,
is
yeah.
sick. Okay. I didn't know they were playing there. I think one of the coolest things about Carnivalesque is that it was booked entirely by 2 students.
Yes.
Not in any like school-related capacity.
Totally independent.
Yeah, completely independently. They just reached out to all these bands and they set it up themselves. It's so cool. Our good friend Bailey is actually like partly responsible for this whole thing, along with her friend Mitch, and they do so much for the local scene.
They
so
really do.
There are so many people who do so much for the local scene.
Yeah. A lot of people are going to get the opportunity to see these bands in really intimate settings
Yeah,
that you don't really get
very personal.
elsewhere, and so I think it'll be a really positive experience.
Yeah.
And I think it'll make people want to come back to Athens,
Hopefully.
which
I think,
rules.
I think we're definitely trying to make it an institution in future years also.
Yeah, and once the union is back up and running, like,
Gosh
we can
bless.
multiply this whole
Yeah.
thing.
Definitely.
R.I.P. Union.
Yeah.
Come back. I mean,
Moment.
they've mentioned that it might come back by
The end of 2015, right?
right. I
So.
mean, I'm praying.
Me too.
I need that. I need that back in my life.
Sending up the vibes.
We will help you. We will. I will. If I'm here, I would help you rebuild that building.
Well, one of the really cool things about Indie Fest is that a portion of the proceeds are going toward, like, Union Street fire relief.
True.
So,
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Which is even more of a reason to go because
Absolutely.
it's our beloved Union Street and our beloved little Athens, so you basically don't have any excuse not to go.
Yeah.
So many cool things happening this weekend. At least go to one of them.
Yeah.
Or like be a loser forever.
And if you don't go to any of the cool things that's happening this week, go to ACRN.com. Sit alone in your room if you want with all the lights off. Just read our content because
Listen
we
to
have
the stream, read the content.
Yeah, we
you
have
got all
some
your senses covered.
really excellent music journalism that's
Lick
happening.
your screen.
And yeah, just
Smell your keyboard.
visual
effect.
journalism. ACRN.com is where it's at. And thanks for listening to us talk about it. And we'll come back at you with more stuff to talk about next week. This has been the first episode of Lobster Butter. I'm Abby.
I'm Megan.
I'm Brittany.
I'm Garrett.
I'm Mark.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks. Bye.
Leave us comments. Talk to us.
Yay!
You're in the middle, so I didn't know if it was going to
No, it's okay.
I guess maybe
I
we should
asserted
start over.
myself. I was like, Megan. I'm Megan.
4 minutes to
Okay,
spare.
give me that memory card now.
Sick.
Give me that.